Here I am once again. My first episode that I did for this has gotten quite a nice response on Facebook. So I thought I would just try another one. And so don't forget, when you look at the Facebook, don't forget down here, it's down here now, I know it's down there somewhere. Click the like button if you like the videos. Click the unlike button if you don't like it. Up above, click on the bell and you will be rewarded with future copies automatically. You will be notified that it's available. And what else was I going to tell you? Oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe, and you will get to watch hours and hours and hours of videos that I've done, all the way from Europe to Ransomville to here in New Mexico. That's where I'm at now. So anyhow, I'll continue on. In today's episode, calling it an episode, it's just a piece of my book. It's going to be called The Chicken Hatchery. Now, the chicken hatchery in Ransomville had to be seen to be believed. A super efficient operation that cranked out baby chicks in a way that would make Henry Ford proud. Do a little research and you will find that at one time Ransomville's hatchery was the largest hatchery in the world. I never knew that such a claim to fame was available in Ransomville. People traveled to our little hamlet from as far away as Russia to study how to make baby chicks. There's a historical marker at the hatchery now that talks about it being the largest hatchery in the world. Let's see, the operation was quite simple. It started with the egg incubator room, or did it start with a chicken? The debate continues. There were a lot of incubators. Each incubator has a lot of eggs. At the prescribed time, one of the incubators would be open and one rack of chicks removed. The rack, about 2 feet square, would be crammed with baby chicks. This rack would be replaced with a rack full of fertile eggs. The incubator itself was an oblong Ferris wheel. The Ferris wheel was a bit slow. It took 21 days to make a round trip. I think there were about 40 eggs per tray in the incubator. And I know it was at least that. It may have been higher, but my imagination might have been a little bit out of control. Let's do some math. That would be 40 trays times about 20 incubators times however many eggs it would fit in a tray. That's a lot of baby chicks. Let me tell you, it's a lot. Okay, we have just removed a tray of chicks. They are carried to the sorting room, where without fanfare they are swept with the back of an arm into a sorting hamper. The remnants of the tray were summarily dumped into a 55-gallon drum for disposal. The remnants were eggshells, of course, unhatched eggs, the occasional dead chick, and whatever. The tray was then cleaned and headed for reload. Sorting was an amazing situation to me. I used to watch with amazement that the people that were sorting the chicks knew exactly what they were doing. They would grab a chick from a hamper, turn it upside down with their thumbs between the chick's legs, then chunk it into either a rooster box or a hen box. Simple. What? I would take one from a box and turn it over and examine it carefully. Then one from the other box. They were identical to me. I never could see any changes in them, but the sorting people, they would just laugh at me, and they would hold up a chick and show me it was a rooster, then show me a hen. Do you understand now? No. More laughter. I never got it, and soon I had no interest in a chick's anatomy. Knowing that you were smart enough to buy my book, you are probably thinking the hatchery workers must work 24/7. Not so. If a rack of eggs went into an incubator, say at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, that tray number would be put in a ledger with the incubator number and the date and the time, etc. On a Tuesday at 2 p.m., the tray was removed with peeping chicks some 21 days later. Pretty amazing. No trays loaded after 3 p.m., no chicks off after 3 p.m. Simple. It took a bit of planning when the holidays were coming, but they worked that out perfectly. The sorting process was important because the buyers might want 10 roosters, 50 hens. And that's exactly what they would get. The buyer might be only interested in selling cooking chickens. He might want only roosters, and on and on. This is where I enter the operation. I pestered Mr. Rex, the owner, until he gave me a job. One day he finally asked if I could drive a tractor. I started my vast credentials, and he said, okay. I was on cloud 9. I didn't even ask about my wages, which wasn't much. But he told me to come the next day after school. The next day was a long day at school. I arrived at the hatchery, and he told me to go get this tractor and trailer and bring it near the hatchery. I found a tractor, but it was a different color from the one from the Farm Hall Super A that I learned to drive. It was gray. What? Oh well, it's a Ford. My vast resume was listed only as driving red tractors. So, therefore, I lost my place here. Oh, so I went and found a tractor and a trailer, but I was not about to ask how to get the thing running. I got it running and found out the gear pattern after search through the rubble and the dirt. I arrived at the hatchery on this tractor, one happy kid. Mr. Rex pointed to me the 55-gallon drums of refuse. He said, take them out through the range. That's where the chickens roam free out back, and the geese and the whatever. Then he said, then go past the woodlot where you will find a field, maybe 1.5 acres, and dump the drums there. He said I would easily recognize it. Then bring the drums back and stack them neatly. I got it, boss. He leaves, and I reposition the trailer and to make it easy to load. Grabbed the first drum, and man, it was heavy. But he says, and it smelled pretty bad. But that was not all. Down in there somewhere were chicks peeping. There's live chicks down in the barrel. So I said, uh-oh. I went inside and said, there was live chicks in there. Too bad was the answer. It was explained that it was no doubt late hatch, meaning that they hatched after being dumped in the trash. The operation could not wait until for the late arrivals. A coming of age for me, for sure. I said, man, I was sad. There's more than one chicks alive in there, and so the barrels were heavy. But there was no way this boy was going to ask for help. I got them loaded by myself, and off I go, sitting like a king on that tractor with his chariot. Driving out through the buildings, waving to the occasional worker that I saw, just didn't get any better than this. It could, however, get worse, a lot worse. The woods was soon in sight, and I continued on. There it is, the dump field, without a doubt. The whole field was covered with eggshells in piles, 3 to 4 feet high. Maybe not that high, but it seemed like it to me. Now remember, at the hatchery, I said everything went in the waste drums. a slight breeze hit me, and I swear the odor was visible. Wow, it was bad. Retch, gag, you know, more retching. Here it comes, I can't hold it. Man, I was sick. Should I just run? No. I emptied the drums, gagging and in tears. It was that bad. It was bad. This was the second coming of age in one day. I forgot all about peeping chicks. I said, I couldn't save them. The thought of quitting had declined a bit by the time I got back. Mr. Rex saw me and asked what happened. You don't look so good. That's an understatement. He asked how I entered the field. I said, well, I opened the gate and drove in. He said, oh, he was sorry about that. He forgot to tell me that there was like 4 different ways to get into that field. Always check the wind direction, boy. and I said, a tad late, sir. But I didn't say that out loud. The damage had been done forever. It helped when I found out he was still going to pay me $1 an hour. I'm going to be rich. When I got home, my stomach had calmed down a bit, thanks to the Pepsi that Mr. Rex offered me to help settle me down. It helped quite a bit, but not permanent. So my mom was all excited to hear about my first day on the job. My reply was simple. Mom, don't ever fix me another egg. Since that day, I have never been able to eat an egg by itself. I can eat something with egg in it as long as I don't see it. A true coming of age for this boy. I was wondering what the other challenges in life I would come to face. And so ends the chapter about the hatchery. I hope you enjoyed it, and it's a true story. And to this day, I still can't eat an egg by itself. It's just that bad. So, more coughing again. Still, there's cedar pollen in the air. So, anyhow, if you like this, please don't forget to punch the like button. And always remember, no matter where you go, there you are. So long.